Good evening, Boro fans. Welcome to Boro Fan TV in the third half with me, James Hutchinson. Tonight, I'm joined by young Boro fan and vlogger, Jack McCabe. Welcome to the show, Jack.
Cheers, James.
We're going to talk about his passion for football and the Boro in particular. Obviously, we're going to look back at a fantastic weekend, which saw the lads clinch a place in the playoffs, following the 2-0 victory over Millwall, and also look ahead to the final game of the season against Ipswich on Sunday. And we're also going to have a little sneaky peek at the playoffs and what they might hold in store for us. With it being the last game on the Sunday at the weekend, I want you to also get in touch with us if you can tonight about your memories of any final day games that the Boro have had, and special memories, whether it's been promotion clinches against the likes of Oxford and Brighton, or Burnley and Beardy ripping Newcastle apart to keep us up in 1990, or even Mark Schwartz's last minute penalty save against Man City that got us into the Europa League. So get in touch, Boro fans, tell us about your views and opinions and any special last day memories that you might have. So like I said, Jack, welcome to the show. Any memories for you about last games, any memories?
It's got to be Brighton for me.
Right.
A couple of seasons ago when we got promotion.
Yeah.
1-1, Suwani scored that goal.
Yeah.
I was at the game. What a feeling, it was class.
It was a special atmosphere in the ground that day, wasn't it? It was like a sea of red and everything, and it just felt like it was fate that we were going to go up, didn't it? Yeah. So obviously you were at that game then. In terms of the Boro, my first question for you is, how did you get the bug of following the Boro?
Well, my dad supported the Boro.
Right.
I've just picked that up really.
Yeah.
I've been going to matches since I was about 5 now.
Right.
I've just loved every minute of it.
Yeah. Because I think it's something now, I think, you can watch football from all over the world and you can see players from different clubs around the world. Even in this country, you can watch Man City, Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea as much as you won't even feel like you watch every single game of theirs. So I think there's a temptation now to support clubs other than your hometown club. Yeah. Was it ever sort of like a thing for you that you might support another team, or was it always going to be the Boro?
Never.
Yeah.
Boro through and through.
Yeah, good lad, good lad. And what's special about following the Boro?
Love the fans.
Yeah.
The fans always get behind the team.
Yeah.
The teams change every year.
Yeah.
I've liked most of the players. Some good, some bad.
Yeah.
But,
and like going to watch football is quite expensive, isn't it? It's a day job. I mean, I know when I started going, I think it was about £1.50 to get in and watch the Boro, stand on the old gate end. But it's great to see so many young fans going to the matches now, because obviously, like, you lads are the future of the club and you're going to be supporting them for years to come. What's it like for you on a match day? What's your routine like going to the games and stuff?
Well, I always go to the game early. Obviously, I do my vlogging and that.
Yeah.
I meet the players before the game. And I get in, watch them train, and then get ready for the match, get all pumped up. Right.
So do you want to explain to some of us that technically aren't very up with things what vlogging is and what you do with it?
Yeah, basically what I do, I record my day, and I put all the videos together. I try and get some footage from the fans, and I do a preview and a review before as well.
Good stuff. And like, whereabouts in the ground do you sit, Jack?
I sit in the family zone.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Good atmosphere in there.
It's alright.
It's alright. Yeah.
Might be good to the south.
So is that why you're aiming to move down to that part of the ground? Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Bit lively in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So obviously the atmosphere was great at the Riverside on Saturday when we played Millwall. It seemed like a big build up to the week. It was a long week after the Derby game and we'd done really well there. And there was a lot of hype around the Millwall fixture. Before the game kicked off, we sort of knew that a point would be enough after the other results came in. But it turned out to be quite like a straightforward win. Did that surprise you?
Not at all. I knew we could do it.
Right.
You could tell the way the fans urged the players. Yeah, I just felt it. Yeah.
You just thought, well, I know Millwall, I think before Saturday had been on a run prior to the Fulham game, which they lost 17 games undefeated. Yet we made them look, I thought, pretty ordinary at times on Saturday. Did that surprise you by how Millwall played, bearing in mind it was a big game for them as well?
It did a little bit.
Yeah.
It just didn't seem to get going. I thought they'd have threatened us a bit more.
Yeah.
But luckily they didn't.
Yeah, no, that's it. We got the result we wanted.
We came out on top.
That's it, we did. Yeah, you're right. And I mean, before the game kicked off, there was a lot of debate about who was going to start up front. Obviously, Assombalonga scored the week before at Derby. So people were thinking maybe Bamford will come back in after his injury. But Assombalonga started again, scored again, and he really put a good shift in as well, didn't he? He was hard working, good goal. Do you think he's worked out now what Tony Pulis wants from him?
Well, he's obviously got a couple of goals recently.
Yeah.
I don't think he should change the team for the next game. Well, next game doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
We've already secured that spot, but I'd maybe put Bamford in the team for the playoff game.
Right, okay. Because he's had a great season, hasn't he, Patrick Bamford? When he came back in and he's been moved up front after Gested's injury, he's done really well, hasn't he?
He's done class,
yeah. And I mean, he did really well the last time we got to a playoff final. He had a great season then, didn't he, Bamford? Yeah. So yeah, hopefully he'll do the same this year for us. And then again, midfield on Saturday, the midfield department took a lot of praise for obviously their performance. Besic, he caught the eye. Clayton, Howson, Downing, they all contributed. Who impressed you at the weekend, Jack, in terms of that midfield?
Got me Besic.
Besic, he's a great player, isn't he?
Classy.
Yeah.
Also Traore as well.
Right.
He played well.
Yeah.
I wish he could have got the ball a bit more. But when he went on them runs, no one was stopping him.
Yeah. Do you think part of the thing with Traore is maybe that other teams have worked out how to play against him now, do you think?
I still think that other teams will find it difficult against him.
Yeah.
They'll look at what he does in training, but there's no stopping him.
It's difficult to stop, isn't he, when he gets going? Yeah. And obviously Clayton, Howson, it now seems like there's a little formation there with Besic. Those three seem to be like tying things up together, and they look really, really dominant in midfield, don't they? Yeah. So what do you think? Would you be tempted to change things for the next few games with them?
I wouldn't actually, no.
Right.
I wouldn't change a winning side unless we brought Bamford in.
Yeah.
I'd actually go for a 4-4-2. I'd put Bamford and Assombalongo in front.
Yeah.
And obviously still Traore and Besic.
Yeah. Good stuff. So viewers, you get in touch with us if you've got any opinions about what we should maybe do with the team at the weekend. Should there be some changes? Would you change that midfield around? Would you bring some fringe players into the side? Because obviously it's a game that doesn't really have any sort of bearing on where we're going to finish in the season, because we're already in the playoffs. So that's an opportunity maybe to bring some fresh blood into the team. Another thing there as well, which I've been really encouraged by, Jack, is after going so long without beating like a direct rival, we've now won 3 in a row. We've beat Bristol City, Derby and Millwall. In the playoffs, you're going to have games like that, aren't you, against teams that have been up there all season, and we're starting to beat them sort of teams now, so it looks good, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. It looks brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, when Tony Pulis came to the club in December, there was 1 or 2 people thinking, oh, don't want Pulis, and there was people saying, oh, listen to West Brom fans, negative football, it's not going to be good, it's going to be this, that and the other. But it's fair to say he's probably rescued our season, hasn't he?
100%, yeah.
Why do you think he's done such a good job at the Boro, Jack?
Well, he's changed the players a lot. They're a lot more organised on a match day as well.
Yeah.
Different styles of football as well.
Yeah.
People did say that Pulis doesn't play the best football, but he gets the results.
And that's it.
Happened.
That's it. You're spot on there. You've hit the nail on the head. It sometimes doesn't matter about the type of football you play, but it's about getting the results, isn't it?
100%, yeah.
We're in the Premier League next season. People aren't really going to remember how we got there, are they?
No. As long as we're there.
That's it, yeah.
As long as we keep up there.
That's it, yeah. Because when we were there last season, wasn't a great season, really, was it?
Not really, no. Went straight back down.
Yeah.
And hopefully this season we can get straight back up again.
That's it, yeah. Was there anything that happened in that season that you sort of think, oh, do you know what? We maybe don't want to go up, or we're not ready to go up, or would you be quite happy to go straight back into the Premier League?
I would be happy, because we know that Tony Pulis hasn't been relegated with the side.
That's right, yeah.
I think he could keep us up there.
Yeah.
If we got the Premier League this season. So I hope we could.
Fingers crossed, yeah. I hope you're right. How about you, Boro fans? What's the magic formula? Is it his cap and white trainers? I don't know. Get in touch with your views. Let us know what you think the magic formula is with Tony Pulis. Why has he done such a good job at the Boro? So like we've just said there, Jack, 3 games away from being in the Premier League. And we've even got there with a game to spare as well.
Yeah.
We've still got this Ipswich game this weekend. Makes it even more impressive, doesn't it, that he's managed to do that with 1 game to spare. Yeah. And what about in terms of playoffs? Who do you think might be the team to avoid in the playoffs, or who would you rather play?
Cardiff.
Right.
I think they're a good side. it looks like now we're going to get
Aston Villa.
Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like that this way. I think we can beat them if we get them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It will be tough. Any game now, it's going to be tough.
Of course it is. Yeah.
Right up to the final if we get there.
Yeah. Because these teams that are up there, the three other teams, so the 4 teams that are in the playoffs, they're all teams that have had a good season. They've won the majority of their games, so they're all in form. So you can't really look and think, oh, we've got an easy game there, we're going to play. You don't get to this stage of the season in the playoffs and find anyone easy to play against, do you?
Especially not in this league. It's unpredictable every single year.
Yeah, you're right. And you've seen that this season with some of the results in the last few weeks with teams at the bottom can take points off teams at the top, can't they?
Exactly,
yeah. So before we get to the playoffs, we've got Ipswich this weekend. Any memories of any games against Ipswich in the past? Can you think of anything, Jack?
We left it quite late, our promotion season. Nugent scored away.
That's right, yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
Other than that, no, not really.
I know we've had a few questions come in so far tonight. Would you prefer, Jack, to change the team on Sunday against Ipswich, or would you rather keep it as it's been? And would you rather see maybe some players come in that haven't had a chance so far?
Yeah, I'd like to see Dimmy come in for Randolph.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know we've got that playoff spot, so we've got nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Fabio come in as well.
Yeah.
Maybe Craney.
Yeah. There's been a few that have, like you say, I think Dimmy would be a popular choice with a lot of Boro fans. I mean, he got a great reception again on Saturday, didn't he? Just when he was warming up after Randolph got absolutely wiped off the face of the earth by that Millwall centre forward who, I think Don Goodman said on his commentary that he couldn't stop himself yet. He pulled up every other Boro foul in the game and wanted people sending off. But there you go, ex-Sunderland player Don Goodman. He's always got a good word to say about the Boro. Never mind, Don. Enjoy the relegation. So Ipswich, a few memories. I know 1 or 2 people have come in. Jack's sent us his views there about the Nugent game where we won 2-0. Jacob Ross has been in touch. A 4-0 thrashing. I can remember a 4-0 thrashing about 30 years ago at Ipswich. We don't normally have a good record there, so maybe it's just as well that there's not so much on that game, isn't there?
Yeah, but hopefully we can, if we could get in the playoffs, we'll just get that bit.
Yeah, keep the momentum going.
Keep it going,
because we've built it up, haven't we, the last few weeks? And it'd be a shame now to make a lot of changes and then get beat, and then you feel like you're starting all over again, don't you?
The last few games, we seem to have got better and better.
Yeah.
Just for the last few games, and obviously we've got where we are now.
Yeah. Regan Williams, thanks for getting in touch with us, Regan. He can't see us beating Fulham if we get to the playoff final. Somebody else in the studio also has been spouting that for a few weeks, haven't you, Rob? Yeah. Fulham playoff final, he fears the worst there. Do you think they're the team that you really want to avoid?
Fulham are a tough side.
Yeah.
But I don't know who I'd like if we got Wembley.
Yeah.
Preferably not Fulham.
Yeah.
Because they're a brilliant side this season.
Yeah. I think you deal with that if you get there, don't you? If you get there, the first step's to actually get there, isn't it? Win the semi-final, because we're not at Wembley yet. And it's deal with that if we actually make it there. I think the thing with Fulham is they play great football, but they can also handle the physical stuff as well, can't they? So when teams try and rough them up a bit, they can manage that as well. They just seem to have quality all around the team. Who stands out for them, for you, Jack?
For Villa.
Well, we'll go through them all. Villa, go with Villa. Great, go with Villa first.
Jack Grealish.
Grealish is a great player.
Been class.
Yeah.
I've always started a few seasons ago now for Villa. I said straight away he'll be a good player.
Yeah.
I could just see it in him.
Yeah. He's a good player. I know AJ, you're a big fan of Jack Grealish, aren't you?
Yeah.
Quality player, he's scored some good goals, hasn't he?
Adoma as well, I like Adoma.
Albert Adoma, there you go. Thank you for bringing us on. Albert Adoma, he was a bit of a... some fans really took to him, and then other people, I think, give him a bit of a hard time when he was at the Boro. But at the end of the day, he contributed goals, assists, and I think what he developed in his game was he could then start helping out and did a lot of tracking back as well. He was a good servant of the club, wasn't he?
I'd have him back any day.
Yeah.
As you said, he's been scoring goals, getting assists for Villa.
Yeah.
He's turned out to be a good player for them this season.
Yeah. Just going against the view there of Regan Williams, Mike's been in touch and he's just said Fulham in the final. Do you think we could beat them? Because in the league game here we battered them, and they got that last minute penalty, and we missed I don't know how many chances. A Somber longer at the bar when he should have 1-on-1. So yeah, we drew down there with them in the league. It's not like they've absolutely turned us over this season either, is it?
Oh no, I think we could beat them at Wembley if we got to Wembley.
Yeah.
As I said, it will be a tough game if we get there, but I think we can do it.
Yeah.
If we put the best side out.
Yeah. I love this. It's all about opinions of your Boro fans, all the contradictory opinions of you. Ethan Woodward, Adoma is a snake. Adoma is a snake. There's a few nods in here as well. One or two people think that. I like Adoma, but yeah, there was one or two people. I know lads that sat with me weren't big fans of Albert Adoma. He had the big fallout with Aitor Karanka, and I think there's a lot of things about it. Was a game at Bristol City where he went over to their fans and was applauding them after they'd beaten us, and he more or less walked straight past the Boro fans. So yeah, I suppose it's horses for courses, isn't it? But he did do a lot of good things while he was at the Boro. I've got to give him that.
He was in that promotion side as well.
Yeah, and he was a big member of that team.
Yeah, definitely.
You're quite right. Also, question for you here, Jack, from Saul Starling. What was the first game that you went to? Can you remember your first game? Who was it against?
Sheffield United at home.
Sheffield United at home, right? Can you remember the score?
I think it was 2-1. 2-1 Boro.
Right.
I'm not 100%.
Right. Can you remember anything about the game? Any of the players that were involved or anything?
Really, just it was the first time I'd beaten the Riverside.
Right.
I loved everything about it.
Yeah.
Like, it just felt right to be there.
Yeah.
And I never stopped, like, not going.
Yeah. I think it's always a special, you get the bug, don't you, when you see like the green pitch and everything like that, and if the lights are on, and you just think, oh, this is amazing. Yeah. It is nothing to beat it, nothing to beat at all. So, and that's another point there. We'll talk about the playoffs, and again, I think we'll expand on this in the next few weeks when we're actually got the playoff games up ahead. Regan's come back again, Regan Williams, talking about the last time we were in the playoffs 3 years ago. That season we beat Norwich, home and away in the league.
Yeah.
Met them in the playoff final, and within 20 minutes it was game over, wasn't it?
I was gutted that day. I went the game.
Yeah.
I was all up for it. I thought, like, we've beat them twice this season.
That's right, yeah.
I thought, oh, there's only one more. We've done the hard bit.
Yeah. It just didn't work out, did it?
Not at all, no.
It seemed like we had our party the night before in Trafalgar Square, and I think everybody was at the ground the next day suffering from hangovers, and I think half the team must have been out in Trafalgar Square the night before. That first 20 minutes, it was horrendous, but there you go. But yeah, quite right, Regan, good point. But I remember back going further, I think the first time the Boro were ever in the playoffs, they played Bradford City.
Right.
And we'd lost to them twice in the league that season. We lost the first leg to Bradford in the semi-final, and then we beat them in the second leg to go through, so we played them 4 times that season. Only beat them once, and then we went through to beat Chelsea in the playoff final. So you can throw all sorts of statistics at you, can't you? And it's just, I think it's just on the day, isn't it, Jack?
Yeah, like 3 years ago when we were at Wembley, the coach arrived late, didn't it?
It did, you're right,
believe,
yeah.
Which would have put the players a bit on edge. Obviously, the nerves already before the game.
Yeah, totally.
And the manager.
Yeah.
I think that put us off a little bit. It shouldn't.
Yeah.
But it did. But didn't Bamford have an injury?
Yeah, Bamford got injured in the Norwich away game in the league, and he played that day,
Yeah, I wouldn't have did that.
Yeah.
I'd have started someone else.
Yeah, I think he's since come out and said that he wasn't fit that day and he really shouldn't have played, but with it being a game at Wembley and he thought he was up to the job.
Big game, but didn't work out for us.
It
not
didn't.
One bit.
No, and I think that's it. You've got to be on games like that. You've got to be 100% fit, haven't you?
Yeah, they had a shot.
Yeah.
And then Vossen hit the bar. I remember clearly.
Yeah.
And then from then, just went.
Yeah. No.
Dimmy got beat at his near post.
That was a bad goal to let in, wasn't it?
Shouldn't get beat at your near post,
no.
like.
Yeah. Another question's coming here now, talking about recent forwards that we've had in the club. If you had the choice, who would you have come back to the club, Jelle Vossen or Christian Stuani?
They both scored some very important goals.
They did, yeah.
It's a tough one, this. Going to go with Vossen. I think he scored more goals than Stuani, did he?
Yeah.
And I loved him.
I always felt sorry for Stuani because it always seemed as though he was played out of position because he's playing up front now in Spain and he's scoring a lot of goals. I know there's quite a few penalties, but he's doing really well in Spain, isn't he? It's quite a tough league.
Well, he wasn't given that chance under Karanka.
That's right,
If he'd have played 4-4-2, he'd have had that extra man to help him. But he didn't get that opportunity under Karanka.
Yeah, no, Mike's made that point as well about you can't win at Wembley if you only turn up 40 minutes before kick-off. I don't think we turned up till about 40 minutes after kick-off that day. I think it was already all done by the shouting by then. And Craig Sandbach has been in touch as well. Will the Wembley curse strike again? I think we've been there 5 times.
Don't say that.
We've had one draw and 4 defeats. We don't do. I think we've scored 1 goal there at Wembley. That's going to have to change this year if we're going to go up, isn't it, Jack?
We need to, like, if we get there on the day, we need to be up for it. We need to be ready for it.
Yeah.
And we need to get that.
Yeah.
We need to get that victory.
I think it's absolutely guaranteed that if we do get there, the fans will be absolutely up for it. As I mean, I don't think there'll be anything better than seeing the Boro win at Wembley. It was great winning at Cardiff for at the Millennium Stadium, win the League Cup, but to actually win at Wembley with like over 80,000 people in there, I think that would just about top everything off if we did that this year, wouldn't it? Yeah. And like I say, no fears about going to the Premier League. If we did get there, I know we're jumping a bit ahead of ourselves, but Pulis as a manager, do you think he'll be able to keep us up?
I think he could keep us up.
Yeah.
Definitely. As I said earlier, he's never relegated a side.
Yeah.
I think we could stay up with the right players, and I think Pulis can do that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll just bring it back to Ipswich on Sunday, because obviously we've got our final league game of the season to go. Now, when we played them at the Riverside, that was Gary Monk's last home game before he left, and we won 2-0. They've had a bit of a mixed season this year, Ipswich. I think the 13th mid-table, and they've got a caretaker manager in charge at the minute, because Mick McCarthy left earlier this month. So what you're expecting on Sunday? What do you think is going to happen on Sunday, Jack?
I think we can still beat them.
Yeah.
I think they'll be a bit off. But I think if we play the right team, we don't need who, but I think we can beat them. Yeah.
So I mean, it's a funny one Sunday, because I think the only thing Ipswich can play for, but it's a big deal to them, is they could finish above Norwich. I think they're 1 point behind Norwich at the minute, so they'll be keen to do that, at least finish above them. It's still a big game to them. Who do you see as a danger man? Who do you think could cause us a problem maybe on Sunday? Any players that have caught your eye from Ipswich this season?
Not really, no.
Yeah.
But I think if we play the right team and play the right formation, I think we'll just punish them.
Right. So I know they've got Martin Waghorn up front, who used to play for Rangers, and he was at Sunderland. I think he's got 15 goals this season, so he's like got as many as a Son Belonga.
He's been a decent player.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think we can come
we'll
up
have
a better side.
Right. Go on then. You've said you think we're the better side. What do you think the score's going to be on Sunday, first of all? We'll get your prediction for that one.
Going to go 2-0 Boro.
2-0 Boro,
yeah.
right. Yeah.
Same as Saturday.
Yeah. So you even think if we make a lot of changes that we'll still have too much for them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can. Because if we bring them players in, they could be better than the other players, even though we've won games with them players.
Yeah.
We can always be better, can't we?
Yeah. I think another reason maybe to leave certain people out or give them a rest is you don't want to pick up unnecessary injuries or suspensions or anything, do you? So that's it.
I think we should give Besic a rest.
Yeah, good point.
Maybe try, or I'm not too sure. I hope he brings Fabio in. Yeah. And maybe Dimi.
Yeah, he's been really busy, hasn't he, when he's come in the last few games, Fabio. He's maybe not played in his normal position, but he's worked, he's got about the pitch. He was doing that while he was on again on Saturday. And obviously, you've said about Dimi. Traore's an interesting one, because he flitted in and out the game a little bit on Saturday. Rob was showing us a fantastic stat earlier on, though. In terms of dribbles per game, I think Traore's up in the top 6 this season for 6 different games where he's had the most dribbles. And on Saturday, I was amazed when he said he'd done 12 successful dribbles on Saturday. Now, I thought he wasn't in the game that much, but to have done that many dribbles in 90 minutes, he must have been well involved in the game. Yeah,
He's been the highlight of our season.
Yeah.
I think he's been class.
Yeah. And he's certainly not a player we could do without. We missed him from the playoffs. We would miss him, wouldn't we?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like, he's started most of our attacks this season. Yeah. No one can stop him.
No, he is. No one. When he's on his game, he's unbelievable, isn't he?
He's class,
Mikey David's got a question for you here, and he's asking, are you going to go to Wembley? If we get there?
I'd like to say yes.
Yeah.
If we get there.
Yeah.
Not too sure at the moment. I'd love to go again.
Yeah,
I'll see to get a win.
Yeah.
I went last time. It was gutted.
Yeah.
What horse are you?
Yeah, fingers crossed, mate. Fingers crossed. So obviously Ipswich at the weekend. Hopefully we'll get that done. Get some points there. Go into the playoffs with still a bit more momentum. Then we have got the playoffs. Who do you think we'll end up facing?
Villa.
Villa.
I think we'll get Villa. It looks like that at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I think if we win or even draw on Saturday, that'll guarantee that we've got Villa and Fitler. So that'll mean first leg at home, second leg away. Do you think that matters, Jack? If you're at home first, or do you think it matters?
I'd like to be at home for the second leg.
Right.
Just for the atmosphere, to give the players a bit more.
Yeah.
But first leg, can't complain. We've got there.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. I mean, it was good a couple of years ago. We had Brentford, didn't we? And the second leg was home that night. Yeah. What are your memories of that night?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
Everything about the day.
Yeah.
All the day dragged until I went to the match, and then even at the Brighton game, them last 8 minutes, they were painful. Yeah. They were horrible.
That's it. I think we're going to have to go through it all again now. If we're going to go up or if we're going to go to Wembley, we're going to go through those same sort of emotions again. So that's it. Steel yourself, get yourself ready for it. It's going to happen. Yeah. What did you think about on Saturday? Just bringing it back to what happened against Millwall, the pitch invasion. What did you make of that?
I thought it was stupid.
Right.
Because fair enough, we've got the playoffs, but we haven't achieved anything. Not yet, anyway.
That's a good point.
It was quite embarrassing seeing the Boro fans go over to the Millwall fans, chucking things. Yeah. That wasn't very...
No, I think you made a fair point there. Thanks for the question, Boro Will. Millwall fans do get quite a bad press, and I thought they actually were well restrained. They behaved themselves, and they didn't instigate any of the issues there. And like you said there, at the end of the day, we've got to the playoffs, and it's great we've got to the playoffs, but we haven't achieved anything. No. And I think at the start of the season, Boro fans were hoping it was going to be promotion. And if we get promoted, then fine, like we did against Brighton before people came on the pitch, and that was great. But I think just to get in the playoffs, I think that was a little bit over the top, wasn't it, on Saturday? Yeah. So obviously Villa, we're reckoning that we'll be at home. We would be at home first leg, away second leg. How do you think we'd fare against them if that was the case?
Tough question. I think, as I said, if we put the right team out, I think we'll smash them.
Yeah.
Bit too confident there, but I think if we can do it.
Yeah. Because we've had 3 games with them this year. We've played them in the cup and we've played the 2 league games. I think each team have won 1 and there's been a draw. So pretty evenly matched. I know they're about 10 points ahead of us in the league, but that doesn't count for anything now when you're in the playoffs. No, it's just 2 games, head to head, and see who handles the pressure. What do you think we would need to do in that first leg to still be in a chance going to Villa Park?
Be as much attacking as we can to see how many goals we can get.
Right.
We don't want to lay back in the second leg if we get a victory in the first. Still come out fighting. Because away goals don't count double in the playoffs, so it doesn't really matter about the away goals. But you still don't want to go there and sit back and invite pressure on yourself. No. We've still got to offer an attacking threat when we go to Villa, haven't we? Yeah. Another question coming in there. On Saturday or Sunday, sorry, at Ipswich, some people are saying bring a lot of the young players in. Now that might be good to see them play, but they haven't got any experience. And do you think that'll disrupt things too much if you play a lot of the under-23s in the game on Sunday? I think it can, but I'd like to see Dale Fry come in.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
So you can prove yourself.
Yeah. Who would you rest, Ayala or Gibson?
Tough one.
They're both crucial, aren't they?
I think I'd rest Gibson.
Right.
Just for that last game.
Yeah.
But I'd bring Fry in.
Yeah. And another question, I know it's a topic that's on a lot of people's lips at the minute. Mo Besic, would you sign him in the summer?
100%.
Yeah.
Can't even think about how it'd be next season if we didn't have him. It was class. It's been mint.
Yeah, he's been a great signing, hasn't he? Well, I'll tell you what, playoffs then, Villa, if we get to the final, do you think we'll do it?
I think we can.
I think we can, yeah.
I hope we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, let's see if we do it this year. We need to win at Wembley sometime, so it might as well be this year, hadn't it, Jack?
Well,
Well, thanks again for coming on the show tonight. It's been a pleasure to have you on. Thanks again, everyone, for watching out there. Remember, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to our YouTube channel to be in with a chance of winning loads of goodies and, most importantly, 2 season tickets for next season. Obviously, next week's programme, we're going to be looking at the playoffs as well as looking back at the Ipswich game at the weekend. So have a good week, Boro fans. No pressure this week. Enjoy the week. Look forward to your football at the weekend. Until next week, Ren White, you and me, Monday at 6, Boro Fan TV.